These are the texts from my son. And I'm reading through another device, so I'm going to try to read this the best I can. What happened to the video chat? It was supposed to be for my Mother's Day gift. Why do you do this type of stuff when we talk? You always say we start drama, but instead of a hey, you ask this. You know exactly what happened with the video chat. I don't even feel safe video chatting after our private phone call was illegally uploaded to the YouTube channel without my knowledge. Then I said, but you have blatantly lied on me and started arguments and covered for Jason and the government's crimes. That's odd. And you have disregarded all of the insanity I've been through to focus on petty things. What are you doing wrong to not want to be recorded? You have nothing to hide, right? I've told you and multiple other family members I was targeted and afraid for my life, but you guys choose to hang up in my face while I was talking and cover for it. Why would my own child emphasize me recording and disregard my life being in jeopardy and tell me you ran into a car instead of a car hitting you? Yield to pedestrians. You disregarded something serious like that, but focus on me recording you. You guys' pattern of behavior is abusive, and I'm just trying to get to the bottom of why you were acting like that. Why would you choose not to look at the evidence of abuse on my YouTube channel and repeatedly ignore me begging for help year after year? It's like you guys are deliberately staging conflict to validate your reasoning for abandoning me when I need you most. You would have to prove something like that is happening. That's an amazing story. I don't know Jason. Everything I know about him came from you. I'm not covering for him. You took small pieces of all of the conversations we had, that you also lied and said you misunderstood, apologetical for, and now you're trying to throw it in my face. We didn't abandon you. We love and miss you, but you bring insanity every time we speak. You pretend things didn't have. You pretend things didn't have how they happened, how they did. You misconstrued past events and didn't even care because it benefits you. How does any of that have to do with you ignoring me stating ignoring me stating I was afraid for my life? What does that have to do with me being targeted? What does that have to do with you claiming you're not watching my channel? Evidence of me being violated and lied on by an army of people. Why do you guys emphasize petty and ignore serious events all these years, leaving me alone in a living hell? You claim I bought the car, but yet I have been denied rides by you guys and ostracized. You claim I bring insanity. Why do you guys punish me for reporting my abuse? That's uncommon for a mom to say I'm scared and get hung up on. Every location I'm at treats me like this. An abuse. I'm trying to get down to the bottom of it. Marcus Perez committed a crime to keep you from me. Why do you condone that? Laws were broken. I was your legal custodial parent, but all you guys do is condone behavior like that and blame me for it. You claim I left you when you jumped out the car. You jumped out the car. That's really running away, but you and the police cover for it and blame me. Multiple parties year after year ignores my text all over the place when I'm trying to address serious issues. It's almost like it's controlled. Pattern. What would possess my own family to frame me? Blatant lies regarding Michaela too. The crimes are observable on my YouTube channel. Instead of addressing that, you said I got drunk with a neighbor. That's a blatant lie. And who told you that? You didn't stay there. They were committing crimes to keep you from me, and even if I did, a lot of parents get drunk and rights aren't terminated. Gwen said my alcohol content was over the legal limit. Who told her that? Especially since I was not given a test. It's something suspicious about you guys' behavior and your source of all these blatant lies. It's almost like you're being controlled by stalker, Jason. Why are you not concerned about your own mother being stalked and hunted like an animal all these years? Why do you lie about Diane stealing all that food, $400 something worth of grocery, then blame me for it? It doesn't even make sense for me to lie about something like that, but I'm trying to get to the bottom of why you ignored it. That was food out of your mouth. Diane told me you guys know Jason and then got sent to a nursing home shortly after that. She also told me you came to Itasca, but wouldn't bail me out of jail with my own money while I was there on false charges. She told me you got a TV. Why would you guys leave all that stuff that had been in our family years and lie to me about going to Itasca? I had $2,000 plus in my account. I told Jeremiah, my oldest son, I was threatened multiple times in jail and mistreated by jail staff, but he wrote me a nasty letter disregarding it. Hillsborough jail staff put me in isolation for getting threatened. A sheriff came to investigate jail staff for their part in my abuse. These schemes could have been, these items could have been put in storage. I'm done with the conversation. You lied multiple throughout the text chain. I went to Itasca for a church camp and I was 15. That was the first time I cried about something other than a whooping, and it was because I didn't know what to do to help you. Blatant lies. They're trying to make it seem like I'm an abuse, framing me, making it seem like I was abusive. Marcus didn't commit crimes to keep me from you. Wait a minute. If people will be honest, I volunteered in the community. The team was over. The people were coming over there all the time, left and right. I had to put a note on the door. They were always at home. If they were so abused, why wouldn't they go anywhere? Everyone knows that. I would try to go take them out to eat, and they want to stay at home and play the game. We went to go look at Christmas lights, had cocoa in the car. We went to school events, late life. But other than the whooping, it was because I didn't know what to do to help you. Marcus didn't commit crimes to keep me from you. He did everything he did to keep me safe and on the right track. When I left with you that day, their entire family cried with sadness for me leaving, pulling the sympathy card. But there's felonies to keep me from him. But anyway, their entire family cried. But you got a mother being violated that you're disregarding. But here's the con: Marcus didn't commit crimes. When I left you that day, their entire family cried with sadness for me leaving everything that they had done for me with you trying. When I came to pick him up, when I came to see him at school, he had on two little clothes, the same clothes that I had bought him. He had nothing new on. And he was sagging. I didn't teach my child didn't sag. I didn't play those games. But he was sagging with Marcus because he had no other choice because the clothes were too little. The clothes, when he moved, that I saw in that car were abusive. The clothes that they had bought, I had for him. So let's see. Their entire family cried. They had done for me what with you trying to sue them and get them put in jail. I'm still trying to do it. And you didn't care. They are the most selfless people on the. They can't be that selfless to hang up. Well, anyway, selfless people on the planet. Everything they had done for me, and they gladly took a behind the caution tape seat at my graduation. So you, someone who did nothing but cause pain to them and make it difficult for me to just live like a normal kid for 3 years straight, could have a front row seat to her son's graduation. The only, and I mean only reason Julian was up there is because I knew he was the only one who would sit next to you without causing a problem. And instead of celebrating all of the work that you and Marcus and Shannon had done to get me there, you caused problems. Blatant lie. He was on the phone and then lied about it. Plus, read all of this. This is the end of me texting for today. I want to have a peaceful rest of my night. If you text with any more of this, I don't think I'll respond. Good night. So once again, telling my kids that my life is in jeopardy. They have other things too. So you once again disregard me getting violated and his interference with child custody crime. Why do you guys lie about going to Itasca? Who did I lie to? A felony charge, even if he was trying to help, I was your legal custodial parent. That's what I meant to say. I'm not sure how much help he was with how I'm not sure how much help he was withholding information on the car accident you had. He had a car accident with him, and they wouldn't tell me about it. It was hush hush. That had me panicking. But once again, I was ignored. Just like Denise told me, Michaela was missing, and let me sit in it. The police did not investigation on why she would tell me something like that, then not answer the phone. And he said, I lived with Diane a year and a half before he took me. And so what crime is that? Why didn't you guys bail me out of jail after I told you I was threatened multiple times and put in isolation for getting threatened? Probably because you were talking to Marcus how you're talking to me now. He was tired of it. He wouldn't give me access to you or return my calls. I was 15. Do I know how to do that? Because every time he did, you started problems. I didn't want to talk to you. He hung up in my face when he told me about a book I was going to write that only Jason knew of. He was degrading me. He wasn't going to force me to do that. I don't even believe that. When I came up to your school, you told me I was a great mom until the police arrived to give me a criminal trespass. I could sue that school for not letting me withdraw you, and they know I was your legal custodial parent. A crime is a crime, no matter what petty circumstances you come up with. Well, I came up to a school because I was being denied all law enforcement. Marcus wouldn't let me talk to him, the man that committed the felony crime of interference with child custody. I reported it to Roy Barker and Deputy Dew from Marion County that my aunt wouldn't give me access to my son. The school, I called relentlessly trying to talk to him. They'd hang up in my face and wouldn't put him on the phone. But I volunteered at the school. They knew I was very active in my kid's life. We went to school events. Everyone knew that. So when I came up to your school, you told me he did. He told me I was a great mom. And then the police department came and then told me he didn't want to talk to me, but I was a legal custodial parent and gave me a criminal trespass. And I had the paperwork showing I was a legal custodial parent, but they ignored it. And then I said I could sue that school for not letting me. I tried to withdraw him because all of the crimes that were keeping me from him. So the school would not let me withdraw him, and then the police came and gave me a criminal trespass. So you letting me withdraw you, and they knew I was your legal custodial parent. A crime is a crime, no matter what petty circumstances you come up with. No, they didn't. We had documents. Just because Julian had lied doesn't mean everyone did. Why would I lie? Marcus hung up in my face. Was what I meant. This degraded me and told me about a book only Jason knew I was writing. I don't know why you would lie, but you have done it many times today. And when we were on the phone, there was no document. There was not documentation. It's a process to terminate custodial rights. The only thing you could have had was fraud. And your definition of degrading is different from the real definition because you said I degraded you, and I know that was a lie. There was documentation. Hand, Julian said he'd hand over his rights to me on me. No one had any clue they didn't have any. No one had any clue that they didn't have any. They didn't have a clue, but he wasn't in the environment for years. I picked them up for school, volunteered at church with these people, went all over the place. We went ice skating, Christmas lights, all kind of different things, parties. But they claimed they didn't know I was a parent. Okay, so no one had any clue they didn't have any. Blatant lie. So that's why you hung up on me when I told you I was scared. So since I had lied, you refused to look at my channel. Are you saying I hung up on you the last time we talked? More petty deflection. Jillian was not the custodial parent. I'm trying to get you a better angle. Julian was not the custodial parent. I was. He had no rights. He is also lying to cover for crimes at the Social Security Administration. Or crimes at the Social Security Administration. I'm. Why are you okay with all these crimes committed to me? Did he tell you to go up there and get your money? What crimes? And yes, he did, because all of the crimes that you say I witnessed weren't crimes. That is a crime to present fraud to violate my parental rights, but the police department covered for it. So if he told you to get your money and we were getting the benefits through him, where is it? Julian had no rights, so that was fraud. I'm not sure why you cover for all of these events and blame me. I got it. That's where the money is. So he sends me this. Trying to get you a better angle. Trying to get you a better angle. So what he's trying to do is validate the crimes to keep me away from him. This has nothing to do with the Social Security Administration and the missing payments. He's trying to validate to keep Marcus from going to prison for whatever reason he covered for a hit and run, his own hit and run. That there was no termination filed. He's just covering for crimes, and they repeatedly keep framing me, my own family, and blatantly lying on me. So then he states, I live with Marcus. I want you to have a better angle. So then he states, I lived with Marcus well over 6 months before you tried to come get me, and same with Diane. So I still see no crime. I didn't get mine. That's far as the Social Security Administration, they embezzled my funds and created debt for me. I owe some kind of way. Maybe because didn't have me for those 3 years. You're saying it's all a crime because you didn't want to make sense. Well, you didn't want it to make sense. Why? Blatantly lie. I had been calling Deputy Dew from Marion County months and spoke with the chief of police in Cass County that committed crimes to keep me from you. So they had to switch it up to violate my rights with Michaela. I spoke with Chief Roy Barker from Cass County. I couldn't think of his name at that point. When? Because you were incarcerated when I lived with Diane. And it was well over after 6 months that you had contacted the school. I called your coach, Miss Smith, which was the principal, CPS, and was ignored in all avenues I took and was arrested at the Texas Rangers for reporting crimes to keep me away from 2 children, as well as reporting my own abuse. If you were fighting so hard, why did you let me leave at Christmas? Or why the first time you came to Avenger didn't you take me with you? What crimes? I just explained how these crimes aren't actually crimes. You're still saying they are. How? So the way that he got up there in the first place is that the coach said that I realized that these people are gang stalkers and control. The coach told me he was going to get him a scholarship and he had a lot of opportunity, see how it would be, let him come up there and see how it goes. Well, I found out their water was off. He was having problems with hygiene, clothes, issues with food. All hell broke loose. Those gang stalkers were living with Diane, my aunt. The gang stalker called me and told me she taught her the kids how to deal drugs. So I would panic and tried to get them when I realized the environment wasn't right. But all these parties, the coach, Ms. Smith, the principal, army full of people, scammed, so I couldn't have them and did nothing to help me gain access to my child. I didn't know that it was possible for a person to be able to set up all this madness. I would have never believed any human being would have experienced what I have experienced unless I saw it. I would absolutely think that person was lying. Your family's covering for your abuse and your stalker that jeopardizes your life. Shelters conspiring with abuse stores. So I said I called your coach, Mr. Smith, CPS, and was ignored in all avenues I took and was arrested at the Texas Rangers reporting my own abuse. Okay. Okay, and then if you were fighting for me so hard. So I told my kids that I was scared and I wanted to leave, and they would not give me a ride to go to escape the environment that Jason was committing voyeurism crimes because he was telling me what was going on fake pages and on YouTube chats. Okay. So I said, right, when you guys wouldn't bail me out with my own money, I had a PR bond, but jail staff hid it, trapping me in jail. You guys, the 15-year-old didn't know how to do that. The 15-year-old didn't know he was supposed to. Presenting fraud to sabotage parental rights is criminal. Not sure why you can't understand that. The 15-year-old went to Itasca for a church camp and saw the house was empty. That's his con. None knew it was fraud but Julian. My older son took him up to the house to get things from the house. How did they know that? How did they gain access to the house to get these items? And why would they leave their mother in jail? None knew it was fraud but Julian. So why is Marcus' name, Miss Smith's name, and all these other people's name in it? Are you trying to tell me no one told you I was in jail on false charges? Why would they not care? Typo, not care that serious. And even then, you still would have lost your custody with me not living with you for well over 6 months. I knew you were in jail, still haven't heard how the charges were false, but how was a 15-year-old with no car, social, or anything really supposed to do anything about it? So I had a social security card for him. He's trying to blame me because no one ever went up to get his social security card. That's my fault. And I didn't have access and couldn't see him. Just these petty things. So a 15-year-old with no car, a social security card, supposed to do anything about it. I prayed that's about all a 15-year-old could know to do. That all conspired with crimes. I called that school relentlessly trying to talk to you and they hung up in my face like Michaela's school. Someone called me saying they were the school police and I couldn't talk to her or see her and told me to stop calling. I was told they were informed prior of the issues with me. The chief of police, Roy Barker, was from Cass County. That's what I thought of his name. So no one told you that I was set up with 911 abusive call for reporting lies all over the place? When you disrupt a child's education multiple times out of the day and cause emotional pain for the child, they're going to do something about it. And someone call 911, okay? Covering up for the police coming out on their own and all my environment's giving me criminal trespasses, even buying food. Did you not read the screenshots of Texas state law that I sent you? I sent the screenshot so you would be able to proofread the law for yourself. So he's conning that my parental rights were violated because they would not give me access to him in 6 months. That's his con. You said I didn't try to get you. I just informed you of what happened. The non-emergency line kept hanging up in my face trying to report interference with child custody, a felony charge. I haven't been brainwashed. I have been enlightened by actual facts. After how many times you calling did they hang up? How is passing fraud enlightenment? What fraud? Dozens from multiple parties. I was frantic. He asked how many times I was hung up on. Dozens from multiple parties. I was frantic. Julian had no rights to give away. You didn't even know him, nor me. I made very poor decisions with the men I chose. I didn't have a lot of past experience in my environments. My family has a generational curse of choosing men that are abusive. And I have just this a good well anyway, you know what? Never mind. I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. Working a lot trying to decide if I want to move back to East Texas or not. Working a lot through though, and I've been playing basketball again. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to ask me. I love you. Good night. If he hadn't been in your life, how do you think he has rights to give? One lesson I've learned in all this insanity is to pay closer attention to the men I choose. Disregard it again. I'm sorry you have not been concerned as all these years about my life being in jeopardy along with the rest of the family. I love you. If your life is in jeopardy, leave where you are and delete all social media to not me found. To not me found. If you not want to, if you wait a minute, do not want to do that, then there's no reason to talk to me about it. I think solution, not empathy, sympathy. Now that is amazing. If you want sympathy, call this mental health hotline. I got this just recently while I was here. If you don't think my solutions will work, call this crisis hotline. Other than that, goodbye. So the church told me to go sick, did not follow protocol, did not give me the support that they give all the other parties. I heard on the support group how they helped other people and they called them and they checked on them. They did not do that for me. They disregarded me, didn't answer or respond to my text. Police came and removed me. I was body slammed and thrown on concrete. My children were brought up in church. If people will be honest, they have been very respectful kids their whole life and very compassionate and loving. So there's something distinctly very suspicious about all this behavior all over the place, like the shelter I'm at now, lying and saying I was taking pictures of the women there, and this local store lying about food stamps that they accept. So let's get this straight. So let's just say, even though it does not sound plausible, that a man that is insane, that is a, maybe a habitual liar, or or perhaps maybe a pathological liar. Let's just say a party that is powerful, that is a pathological liar, could act his lies out in all your environments. Let's just say that. Let's just say a man from a horror movie is running the police department, schools, your children, your family, domestic violence organizations, stores, public transit. Are you safe? I said this before COVID. If a habitual man that had caused habitual lies and pathological lies to shut down a school before COVID, and they don't want to talk about it, how many kids were kept out of school? So here's a suspicious thing with the school shutdown. I started a new job that Monday. We picked up our kids that Friday. It was no problem. Nothing had happened. We tried to drop off our kids Monday, and they claimed the school had shut down. It was just like COVID. We went Tuesday, it was closed. Wednesday, we closed all the way up to Friday. They did not tell us it would be for a week, 3 days. We had to go every day to find out the school was closed. So then eventually it opened up again Monday. But that's when I started my new job. So when I started my new job, I didn't know that a person, I had no idea that he was involved in all of this and I was getting gang stopped. I didn't never heard of it. So anyway, I was forced to let this lady that was supposed to be a pillar of the community keep my child. And then she said that my daughter bit her grandchild. So I asked my daughter what happened, and she broke down and had a meltdown. She said I bit her because she started choking me and I couldn't breathe, and I had bit her so I could breathe. And then because that's not her behavior, and I told the grandmother that, and I said let's get the kids together, and she refused. The grandmother also said that your child was hungry, and I said yeah, she eats a lot. And I said, she said, well, if people are going to think in this community you don't feed her. I said, how? When she brought over food for herself and your family. In addition to that, I'm working a job, a physical job. I haven't worked physical jobs most of my life, and the breakfast was still on the table that she had ate before she went over there. So the lady was trying to set me up in the community for being an abuser. But this same lady used to be around the neighborhood and was stalking me. I thought it was because I had like a little show on Facebook, like a motivational show. I thought that I just had a lot of attention because of that little show. I didn't know someone was setting it all up. Never heard of anything like my experience. Well, anyway, it's going to have to take someone else to realize this behavior is problematic. If you're using public transportation to speed up and abruptly stop with a field with people on the bus, including children, unaddressed. If you're enlisting domestic violence organizations, shelters to conspire with harassment, and churches, and nothing's repeatedly done, someone other than myself needs to realize that this is problematic and something needs to be done.